Alright, so we have our tassel cut out. I'm going to keep this here. This is our base model. And I'm going to get here's the Sporran. So we're going to go ahead and do this on the tassels themselves, right? Because the tassels are already set into the Sporran, right? I'm going to get rid of this belt right for now, just so it doesn't slide off the table here. I know I have the bad habit of, not keeping stuff within frame. So my apologies for that. Alright, so let's set this aside. Alright, so we're going to basically put one of these on the end of one of these. So it looks like that. I'm going to go with one of the longer ones, so I'm going to open things up here. Let's undo this here. Alright, we'll go with one of the long ones first, okay? Because then I can sit down and do the rest of them, but I want to just demo one, okay? So, that's why I made these kind of extra long, so I can shorten them, I can lengthen them, etc., etc., based on my needs. So the first thing what we want to do is we want to put a knot in the end, and just a simple overhand knot. This will be hidden so it doesn't have to be pretty. We just overhand knots, double overhand knots, triple overhand knots, etc., etc. Our stopper was considered a group of knots called stopper knots. Okay, so that's going to just stop the tassel from being released. Now, here's the important part. Okay. Remember, this is the suede side. You may not see it on the camera, but then you probably can see the shiny or the gleam on this side. This is the flesh side. This had the hair when the animal was living. This was close to the flesh when the animal was living. Okay, so we want to put the flesh side, the flesh side up, or skin side down. Okay, and let's see here. We're gonna just kind of roll this on here like this. Okay, so above the knot. Okay, so I just kind of want to roll this on here like that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna kind of do this sort of tightly. So the bell shape is down, or up rather, and the flesh side is up. Okay, remember that. So I recommend you practice once before you do this so that you don't do it backwards. Mistakes are easy to happen, so no judgment. It's best to practice before you actually do this so that you don't have to redo your work. And I'm not left-handed, so yeah, through Filipino martial arts I've become somewhat ambidextrous, but these scissors are right-handed. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this fairly tight to wrap this around. Let's roll it up again because I didn't have my string ready. Okay, there, like that. So we're just gonna roll it like that above the knot. Then what we're gonna do is I want long enough string, cordage, strong cordage, to do a double overhand knot on this, right? So double overhand, I'm just gonna loop this through twice. That's a double overhand knot, and I have a knot section. I haven't completed all of them. There's a top 10 and a top 25 and then a top 50 knots that I think one should know for bushcrafting and whatnot, or just even general around the house use, sewing use, right? And so you can tie this pretty tight. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a tool here and wrap these around, which are basically kind of their rubber coated chopsticks. And that way, oops, I had it right the first time. I can get some leverage and actually pull these tight without cutting my fingers, because wax nylon is extremely strong. Okay, it's very tough, so it's good for projects like this. And then when I got it tight like that, I may go around it again and do a knot, which I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do 2 overhand knots. So that's on the same string, so it looks neat. Or yeah, along this its body. That's 1, and then I'm going to do another one, which is 2. That'll lock it, okay? Then I can shorten this just so it's out of the way. I may have enough left over so there's no waste to do another one when I do the next one. So I'm gonna set that cordage aside, discard that. Now, the trick is, here's the trick. The trick is to take this and turn it inside out. That's all it is. That's why we created both the knot and the tassel, the cordage, and then we tied it off very tightly. All right, and that's why we needed more supple leather, okay? Because we need to really kind of pull on this to get this into the shape we want it. Okay, so this may take me a minute to get this the way we want it, and hopefully, I mean, this is black on black, so hopefully you can see this. Again, I don't have the best lighting system, or I could have done a version that was light against dark for contrast, but this should be good enough. I think I'm okay with this. But yeah, see, this is not coming off, okay? It's not coming off, so it's attached to it. And if you like the sort of bell sort of shape, kind of looks like a violet or something like that, go with it. I mean, you know, it's whatever you want to do, right? And so that's what we made, is basically a cone. That's why we had the bell shape. We're making a cone, okay? So next, doesn't have to be perfect, because the next part to this, to the tassel, is now we just cut the tassels, your little fringe. Oops, before I do that, I'm sorry. Before we do that, we're gonna take that cordage that we had left over. So don't cut yet, just, we're gonna go up a little bit here. And this is where the black, I'm gonna do this on camera with this wax nylon so that there's contrast, because if I do it black on black, you won't see it. But again, we're just gonna do the same thing like we did before. I want to take this and I want to just kind of do a double overhand knot, like so, or triple, doesn't matter. And then we'll go up about, I don't know, what does this look like? Maybe 3/4 of an inch or so. And then really cinch that down. You see how we're going to get that nicely? Now I'm going to replace this with the black hemp cordage, right? Or I could dye it, doesn't really matter. But again, we're going to take these chopsticks as a tool, and I'm going to wrap this, because I really want this part tight. Okay, I really want this part tight. So we're going to wrap these around. Oops a daisy. Okay, and then really kind of pull this tight, like so. And then we will pull this just to the back and do exactly what we did before. I'm just going to do a double overhand knot, or rather it's the overhand knot and then another overhand knot, like so. That'll lock it into place, trim the excess. If I was doing this with a piece of leather, I wouldn't have to do that, because it could just hang and dangle like the rest of them. But it's not. And then now we can commence to cutting the tassels. Okay, so now we've got this kind of, I don't know, you could paint a face on it now. It looks like a little doll or something like that. Anyhow, we're just gonna cut the tassels in almost up to the knot, like so. And how thin or how thick you want to do this is up to you. It's your preference. There's no hard and fast rule or width. It's just decorative is really what it is. And I guess if I wanted to be that intricate, I could do a Turk's head knot around the top of this. I'm not going to do all that. I think this will look good enough, pretty enough for me at least. Because that's just extra work, to be honest. That's you know, that's what makes a good Sporran like cost a grip of money, right? The work that the craftsman puts into it. So this is just for myself, so I'm not going to do all that. If I was making this for somebody else as a gift, that's one thing, or if I was being paid to make this, that'd be another thing. But right now I'm just doing it for myself, and I like it the way that I like it. And you know, simple and rustic is kind of my thing. That's kind of my thing. The more rustic looking is really my kind of thing. I grew up watching Grizzly Adams, so you know what can I say, right? Dukes of Hazzard and Grizzly Adams, right? And yes, I don't care if I'm dating myself. Those were the good old days. And I already cut the tassel, so the one that I cut previously is in the way. I don't want to cut the others, otherwise it won't look right. But as you can see, there we go. So there's a tassel, right? And it can be as long as you want, or it can be as short as you want. I might snip this a little bit because I want it a little bit shorter. And I'll just match the other ones up with this. There. So this is what we have as a tassel. And again, to finish this off, even though you don't have to do this, but I've only did this with the wax nylon to, hopefully this is showing up on camera okay. I'm only doing this with the wax nylon so that you can see the contrast, right? So I will now take the black hemp from a kit, and they're doing basically an alpine coil on here. This is an alpine coil, so I got to find where to undo this. I don't want to take the time to do that. See if I can find another one. This is easier. And actually, this looks like some leather that I actually cut and dyed, so this will work just fine enough. You know, I could use this black hemp, but this leather here will be just fine to cover that up, right? So I'll just do the same thing. I'll cut a length of it that's good enough, long enough, like that, and this will be enough for the other ones that I need to make. I will not use the hemp, but I could because I have leather. So again, the same thing applies. I'm just going to do everything on the back side of it, so that the knots and things are hidden. But just to tie it off, you probably won't see this very good on camera, but I'll do an overhand knot essentially, like so. Let's cut, let's make that real tight. Then go around to the quote-unquote back of it, and I say quote-unquote because it gets to a point where you don't know from back, and then just do 2 overhand knots, one on top of the other, which essentially is a granny knot, but it'll lock it into place. And it'll hide my the wax nylon. Okay, and again, this could hang down with it, but it's a little stiffer, so I don't like that look, so I'm gonna just get rid of it and cut very close to the ends of the knot, and voila, here is our tassel. Okay, so I need to do 2, 3, I need to do 3 more of these. Okay, I'm not going to do all of them on camera, but I just wanted to give you how to make a tassel, at least it's an easy one, a quick and easy one. And that'll pretty much knock out and finish my main project, which is the Sporran here. So here we go. This is our all finished piece with tassels. I'm really happy that it came together in spite of some snafus, but that's okay. It's all learning. This is the front. This is the back here. It's ready for belt loops if needed, without the actual belt itself to hang appropriately when wearing the belted plaid. You know, again, I've got an antler as a button, and then we've got the drawstring here. The drawstring will loosen up over time. I might have made it a little too thick, but that's okay. Leather wears in, you know, and then it'll be nice and comfortable. But we can open it up, and you know, my hand can fit in there. I can fit all kinds of accoutrements in here. I could even have made it with an inside coin pocket if I wanted to be real creative like that. So that's, you know, this is pretty much excuse me, this is pretty much all done. I'm very, very pleased how it came together. I showed some pictures on my Instagram, again, the Urban-Aboriginal on Instagram. And again, follow me, you know, on my social media below. If you read the comment, or not the comments, but the description area, I have all my social media links, as well as ways that you can put a little something in a tip jar. I'm happy to have 5,000 followers, over 5,000 followers. If everybody that was following me on YouTube just chucked in $1 once a month, $1 once a month, I could actually devote myself to making this type of videos full time and better quality, as well as go out and meet with or have interviews with and get more training from, you know, world-renowned primitive skills technologists and other crafts people out there. So again, consider just, you know, donating $1. What I will do with this tutorial is I'll keep it up for free on YouTube, and then most likely I'm going to put it behind a Patreon account, paywall. I'm a web developer by trade. I could build my own paywall, which I have done for other videos in the past, and just make it subscriber based, you know, or make it so that you can you know, digitally download the whole how-to video of this. Maybe I won't have to do that again. Just, you know, $1 from each one of my followers or subscribers to this YouTube channel, the Urban-Aboriginal on YouTube. That would be awesome. But anyways, nonetheless, I'm happy that this came together. I do have some experience with leather crafting, so if I made it look easy, that's kind of why. For a beginning person, you know, it's always good to make a model out of paper like I started out with, just so that you know, or even fabric, just to see how it will come together and what pitfalls you may have, you know what I mean. Again, the leather dye does kind of get to your finger, the black dye, but over time it goes away. The atomized wax, liquid wax, helps seal that. But nonetheless, here we go. It's not exact, but it's a pretty close replica. I think I use this as inspiration from Pinterest, and I really I think this turned out together. I was just able to reverse engineer it with my limited knowledge on how sporrans are put together, because I made one previously before, and how leather working is done. Plus sewing helps too. Spending a lot of time, you know, my great aunt let me, because she was a seamstress, my great aunt let me play in her sewing room as a kid. Really has helped me as an adult in life. So there you go. Again, I'm gonna keep this up for a while. Look for my Patreon, and I'll make it so that you can download the pattern and all that. Once I refine it, I'll probably make another one. This is more like probably a decorative or showpiece for special occasions and stuff. I'll probably make a more rustic one, and again, I'll post that on YouTube as well. But there you go. We're all done making a sporran.